job information. Right, let's say for example, when I go here and change something. Okay, so I change it to Seattle. Seattle is in Pacific, I guess, if I'm not wrong. You see here? So this is propagated by itself, okay? The system propagates the time zone field when I change location. So this is what propagation is in simple terms. There's a very simple basic example. So when I change something at an employee data level, so this is a source object. The source is nothing but the foundation object. And so when I change this location object, time zone which is associated with it, or which is, it's not association, I'm sorry, don't take it as association. So time zone is a field in the object location. So this field location, uh, this field time zone which is available in location will be propagated in the job information when I change location. So this is what propagation is. Another example, let's say for example, my internet is a pain here in the hotel, so it's a bit slow as well.
We have some issue with the job classification problem.
Everyone is facing the same problem?
Yeah, yesterday I tried the same thing.
Okay. That's okay. So what we'll do is I'll take a different example, which is not, as I said, is not, someone created a position which was empty. Okay, this position, this is a bad example, sorry. There's a multi, I wrote a different rule for it. Someone just created any other position. At least the supervisor comes up if you look at it. So ideally everything should change from position. But it also propagates the data from position. So this is an example. Likewise, what we can do is we can also change job classification. So when we assign a job classification, so the details like job title and everything propagates to the employee data. So this is what we do in a propagation data model. So previously propagation data model used to have all the objects. Now it's very limited because half of them migrated to MDF. So I'll just show you in XML what we do, and we'll then actually do it in the rules because it's better you guys learn the latest ones. So old ones you just keep understanding how it works, and because there is nothing else to change except location has a time zone field, and what else we have, job information or a couple of things which can actually change. Otherwise everything else is same. So they're not major ones, at least I would say, because you only have two things, and they'll also move on to the next release that they will change. So understand this one, as I said, try to relate it to ABCD, which is easy. Gayatri, can you please put yourself on mute? Okay. Right. So can you guys see my XML?
Yes, Praveen.
Right. So here, this is an example of propagation data. This is a propagation data model. If you look at it, so this is the foundation object. Propagate foundation element job code. So you know job code is nothing but job classification. Okay. In this field ID, there's nothing but the name. I mean, this is the field name of your propagated value. Like for example, you want to propagate job title when you select job classification. So this is a field in the job code element or the object, and your destination field ID is job title in your job information object of employee data. So this job info employee data, and in the job info there is a field called job title where you're propagating this job code foundation object field called name. So when you go to your data models, so let me open the corporate data model and
Hello? Hello.
so
Yeah,
if you
Praveen?
look at this here,
Actually, okay, fine.
I did not do anything. I just trying to open, so I did not talk.
Okay. We think
Okay.
you just disconnected.
No.
Okay, fine.
I was just trying to look for the data models that are already downloaded rather than downloading again. So here, if you look at it, the job code is a object that we're talking about here in your propagation, right? Job code. So this code matches with this one, right? I hope this is clear for everyone. A dot B. B is a field. What is the field that I'm taking here? Name. So this is B. A, B, and this is the field. This is actually D, okay? That's T. Where does it come from? It comes from your employee data. Employee data is nothing but your HRIS elements or the employment objects that you have in succession data model. So when you go to succession data model and when you go to HRIS element job info, so in job info you see a field called job title. This is the one. So job title is a field. This is a D, and the C is nothing but this job info, and this is what you see here. So this is job code foundation object A, field name called name, and the destination element field ID is job title in the element job info. This can also be moved this side and that side, which should be okay. You can take HRIS element ID and then the destination field ID, which is actually quite okay. So, but is that clear? What we do in XML? Likewise, you're also propagating from job code is regular in this particular field, and grade in this particular field, employee class in this particular field. So it's full-time employee in this field. And also remember, if the country is USA, okay, so look at this. This is a condition. If the country is USA, you also propagate generic number field 2, 3, 4, whatever you have country specifics. So that means we can also specify propagation based on country specifics. Okay, where you just need to put country in addition to your field ID that we put. Okay. And when we look at our standard location time zone example, so this has been commented out, so which will do our logic, because I was doing this in the last time by deactivating this. I wrote a rule which will propagate. So the other option that we have is the standard. So if you look at it, so there's location and the field called time zone, and the destination is HRS element ID job info, and it's propagates into the field time zone. Okay, so this is how it works. So this is the old way of doing it. Okay, I don't think this here anymore, because usually when we started for HRS propagations, the data model is huge and it's also very important, but now it's no longer. As you see it, it's moved to MDF, and it has become very easy, at least compared to this propagation data model that we have, because XML is a bit different, and writing a rule is easy in the the MDF space. So you need to also remember that you need to put this. There's the old one again. So in the propagation mapping, location.xml code, if it takes example, so this is a.xml code, and it's nothing but c.a again. A.xml code and HRS field c.a. So in total a.b to c.d. Okay, A foundation object, B field in the foundation object that is going to be propagated, in C employment object, in the field called D destination element. So when you write this logic, so you need to put this one. So I'll take this example for you guys so that you guys can understand. Okay, so I'm taking this, I take this.
If it is a MDF object, we don't need to write any XML, right? Just to have a clarification. We just want to write a rule. Is it
Of
right?
course, yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Okay, so I'm taking all this off. Just see. Okay, so this is your propagation foundation element ID. So this would be A, and this is B, and this is destination field ID. This is D, and this is the employment object C. And remember, once you write this code, you have to put at the bottom of the screen. This is mandatory, always. Okay, why you ask me? That's how it is actually done. So this is something that we need to do always. So this is A, and this is C, and this is A. Okay, so A.external code to C.A. So this is something that we need to put always. If you ask me why, I mean, not sure, but you need to put it.
Praveen, if you don't mind, can you drag the screen up?
Yes, please. Or maybe
Yeah.
what I can do.
Yeah, just give me a second.
All at one place.
Praveen, you will have, do you have the list of things, what are the things got moved to MDF, what are the things are there in the foundation, so that that list is there? So which version that has kept moved?
I already explained this when we talked about foundation objects. Which one moved to MDF and which one are still there? Didn't I?
We had a discussion.
I guess I explained, yeah.
Okay, let me go through.
Yeah, I think when you open your foundation objects, it should be there because I explained it.
Hi Praveen, Ritu here. Just a question. How will we get updated on the latest after July? I mean, do you have any blog or, I mean, later on we will not have access to the system as well.
Right. That's you have standard success factors release notes. If you just look at any sales for, I mean, what is that? Sales demo 4.successfactors.com. At the bottom of it, there is always this check latest success factors updates. There's a link where you can go. Or if you have a standard S user ID, you can also go to SEN and check that there. Okay, I don't have time to write a blog. I wish I could. I started a website altogether, not a blog, to put all these kind of things like helping people on subject, topics and everything. I kind of wrote 3 to 4 topics and I could not contribute much, so I am not doing it. Otherwise, there is my website, successfactors@sim.com. So, which was created on these lines actually to help people understand the latest things and talk about some concept, but I could not continue much on it, unfortunately.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Right, so this is the standard way of doing it. Now, the latest way of doing it. So this is very simple. What you need to write a rule is, let's say, for example, if I'm changing location, if I change location in job info, time zone should change accordingly, right? So this is a requirement. So what we'll do is we'll write a rule. Remember always the base object is very important when we write a rule. So in which employee data object are we writing this particular rule, or this particular rule will be applied? So it's always job info, right? Because I'm putting this in the job information object. If you're writing an object, if you're writing a rule in, let's say, employment details, then you need to put the base object as employment details. If you're writing a rule in compensation, so you need to put it as comp info. If you're writing a rule in personal data, let's say, you need to put it as personal information. So likewise, a base object plays a very, very key role when you write your rules. So how do we write rules? We go to admin. So we go to admin tools and we go to manage business rules. Configure business rules. I think there is already one written from location to time zone propagation. This was a previous batch example. Just let me delete it first. Okay, so deleting it. Let's say I go here. I'll write this location to job propagation. Location to job propagation. This rule type could be anything actually. This is just like a filter to see what type of rules that we're writing. You can actually add any rule types as you wish. So the base object should be job information. Right, so when is this true? This is always true. Whenever I change a location, time zone should propagate. Then set time zone is equal to see your details. Okay, so you have the fields time zone. Where is it? Time zone. So time zone is a field in job information. So this is equal to object location, right? So I guess I changed the name of location, isn't it? No. Location has a time zone. So it's location.time zone. What I'm doing here is I'm saying it's always true. That means whenever this particular rule applies or when it is applied, the rule applies always, and so it sets the time zone field of job information to location.time zone. Save it. Since I think I deleted the old rule, let's quickly go to an employee to see if that changes in the first place. If it still does.
Praveen, go over here.
Yes, Gary.
Whatever the fields you are trying to select here, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the fields would be available there in the drop down, right?
Right. Job information object, all the fields would be available.
Not only for the job information, even for some other objects as well.
No. Usually when you see it, right, left hand side, usually when I say set, so the set option is nothing but the base object fields. All these fields are job information fields. You see this one? This job information. Only job information. So within job information, you've got too many country specific fields.
Whatever the base objects we selected, those fields would be displayed here.
Yes.
Is it?
Absolutely, yes. The right hand side, whereas all the dependencies you will see them. Like for example, it is also job information, but you know, location is a foundation object. Business unit is a foundation object. Department is a foundation object. So you see those values which can be dependent. Okay, so those fields from these objects are available. Like when I select department, you see all the values like cost center map to it, department map to it, division map to it, right? So that's what you see. You see all the dependent values.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
So,
hello, Praveen.
Yes.
This is Sushma.
Yes, Sushma.
Yeah, previously you asked that this question is very important for interview purpose. Yes, they asked me about propagation. Actually, at that point of time, my video and audio, it was not working properly. So I was not able to answer it.
Okay, cool. So as I said, I mean, no interview will be complete without people asking a question on propagation. That's for sure. At least previously, in good old days, I would say now, because it's already 2.5, 3 years, Employer Central is in the business. So more than 3 years. It started back in 2012 or so. So around 3 years when it was initially, at least when I attended interviews, maybe 2 years back. So it's like everyone will ask this question, guaranteed. When I take an interview, I'll ask this question because it's one of the complex stuff, okay? One of the complex at that point, but not anymore. It's not any more complex because you have too many other complex stuff available.
Yes.
Can you tell the question how you're going to ask that related to this propagation?
Sorry, what is that?
Can you please tell the question? You ask this question no, usually. So what is that question? Can you place across now?
So I'll ask them to explain propagation. I don't usually ask stupid questions if I take interviews. I'll just try to understand your understanding of a concept rather than asking someone to write a rule standard scenario that I know. No, I'm
Even
not that guy.
I faced an interview even similarly happened. They didn't ask much about this, but they asked what is propagation, where do you use it? That's it.
Exactly, yeah. If that guy is sensible, yeah, usually that's the kind of scenarios, questions that you expect, especially in a product like SUCCESSFACTORS, which is comparatively new, and a lot of people just started working on it. And of course, if you put too much of experiences, I understand that they might ask you, but not that way. Okay, there are few people, especially in the market, where you go and they come up with, can you write a question which sends an email to so and so person when you change so and so thing and so whatever it is. It's a scenario which they're struggling in the job and they want to get the answer. Okay. When you say the logic that doesn't work, they say, how you do it? Tell me exactly. So, I mean, there are those kind of people, okay, in the market, and I face one of them. So it's not, as you see, they just want to prove something, or they're already screwed up. So anyway, so if you look at,
I have a quick question, Praveen. This is Rajiv.
Yes, Rajiv.
So Praveen, when you start up with a client, and so do you get the system which is absolutely blank in terms of the rules, or you already get some rules written off for to be changed or something? For example, this one. So do you think the rule is already provided, but then based on the customer requirement, you need to change them, or how does it go?
No, you get absolutely blank system.
Oh, so you mean to say we need to write even the smallest of these rules, right?
Of course. Lucky
Okay.
previously, I would say, because you used to get all the standard XMLs. Now you're no longer using XML, so everything becomes have to be created now. So a bit more work.
Okay.
But you have options to copy paste or move them from one system to another system. So that's something that customers can follow.
Not even standard rules?
I mean, you don't have it in the system, yes. Whatever success factors, rules that they apply in the product itself, they would be available. But otherwise, it's pretty blank. Nothing brand new. So, for example, you see this location. Previously, it was propagating time zone. Now you see, I changed it to Seattle. It does not change to Pacific, right? The rule is no longer available. Now we'll assign our rule, which will propagate. Someone is asking something?
Yes, sir. Sir, is there only a time zone condition we can write the rule, or in how many cases we can write the rules?
Good question. It all depends on your customer requirements, huh? Standard, if you ask me standard, from my experience in the job information, the propagations especially is very important in the job information object. Remember, first thing is position to job propagation. So when you select a position, all the details of the position should be propagated. Second, when you select location, time zone gets propagated. Third, when you select a job code, so job title, local job title, your supervisor, these things should be propagated. And what else you have? When you select legal entity, sometimes your company's standard working hours, these values can be propagated. And similarly, from job code itself, you can propagate is full-time employee classification, FTE, or usually these things come from position, okay? Again, when you change job of the employee without changing positions, these things can propagate.
So
and if you ask me any
right?
other, yes, these are standard. Usually every customer,
Standards.
you write, yeah. We write for every customer. And they don't come with SAP product, okay? They don't come with SuccessFactors product, but we need to write.
Yeah, the standard means we don't want to write any propagation automatically. Whenever we give the data, it should come automatically, right? Without writing
In a
any
sense,
rules.
you have to write rules. I'm saying standard in the sense fairly customer standard. Every customer might require these things. I guess that was the question that was asked, isn't it, Nagasai?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Because standard success factors provided rules, I don't think from a propagation perspective I see them, but there could be other rules which will be in the back end for the product. They might they might have written it since it's MDF. So, for example, I just removed our location. Yes.
Admin tools in the managed business.
Manage business configuration.
All right.
Admin tools and manage business configuration. So this is where we see our succession data model in the front end. You don't need to change XML always. I don't prefer changing XML for one second. So this is succession data model. So I don't want to change it for succession data model. Instead, I can directly write here. So the rule should say whenever I change location, this particular job to location to job propagation, the one that we just created, should be triggered. These are called trigger rules, remember? So whenever the event type, usually at a field level is only on change, but at an object level we can write more rules, which I'll talk about separately. So it's like on init, on save, validate, on change. All these are different types of events that can happen at an object level. So when you view the object, the rule can trigger. When you change the object, the rule can trigger. When you save the object, the rule can trigger. When you view the object, the rule can trigger. So these are the different types of event types you can write, or the rules that you can write at a object level. Whereas in the field level, usually you write it on change, because at a field, when should it trigger at a field level? When you change the field. So here I'm changing the location. The event type is when I change location, this particular rule should propagate or should trigger. These are called trigger rules, remember, very important rules. And so if someone wants to really screw you in the interview, so this is something that they will start with. So at least for now, people think writing rules is like PCRs and their whatever it is. Okay.
Excuse me, brother, please go back again.
Just 1 second, it's saving.
Event type rules. Please go back again.
1 second, sir, it's saving.
So Praveen, so I'm just trying to compare it with SAP. So for example, in SAP you get some standard rules already written in the schemas, but then so in this one you don't even get the standard ones pre-written for the client, right?
No, we don't.
I'm just trying to clearly understand that.
No, we don't get it, Rajiv.
So
we get a blank system usually when you go to the customer.
Okay. So for example, if I'm associated with a consulting partner, say for example Accenture, so will Accenture be having so because some of them are very common kind of rules. So the one probably which you just wrote down is for the location associated with your position. So won't they be having some pre-written rules which are common to locations in US, in Canada, so just to reduce the overall project implementation time?
You see, I mean, that all depends on how you're. If you ask me Accenture, forget about them. If you take any other example, maybe yes. So what we're trying to build something similar. We're trying to come up with a package solution. Okay, so if a customer wants some standard solution, and let's say they don't have much of a changes, so we just copy paste the solution. So this is something that I'm working on, and another initiative within my other project. So this is almost every customer is doing. I mean, every partner is trying to do. So
Right,
SAP
right.
itself has given RDS solution, and customers are coming. I mean, partners are coming up with their own RDS solutions based on their experience. You know, it's not just
Oh,
these values. There are a lot of common things, basic things, which can be standardized. Like for
right.
example, when you select, let's say your salutation as Mr., you don't need to say it's your gender as male again, right?
That's
You
correct.
select Mr. only for male. So that's a rule that you can write. It's simple, standard, and it picks up. So it's like these are the things that you identify, which can be made standard, and you put them in a product, put it in a sales demo system, and use it as a reference whenever you want to copy paste it.
Right, right.
That depends on how partners play, okay? But usually if you ask me SAP standard, no, they won't give it in the standard.
Okay, okay. All right. Okay, thanks.
But partners can do it because they can reduce time on implementation.
That's correct. So when we are expecting SUCCESSFactors implementation to complete within 6 months to 1 year, maybe 1.5 years, just to reduce the overall time period of implementation. So then definitely they must be having some pre-planned or maybe pre-formatted, XMLs or.
1.5 year is the biggest success factors project you're talking
Is
about.
it? Oh.
So
Okay,
I was in some discussion with the business leads, and our proposal is to put the medium-sized customers and especially small to medium-scale customers in a segment where we can implement them in 3 months is what the target is.
So small to medium, you would say like it would be an implementation of how many employees?
Usually, let's say around 3,000 to 5,000 employees, or maybe less.
Okay. So 3 to
It
5,
depends.
5,000. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about countries. So there is some error, exception error. I don't know what it is. It's some product error. So where did I put that location? So see, any small customers usually, okay, who has fairly basic requirements and not many countries, especially that's another important point because that's something that you need to consider, okay. So I guess it can be done. It's not going to be a problem. So you can do it.
Okay.
So that depends on your customers, or sorry, partner strategies, okay? So what you're trying to implement for the customer. If the customer is big and if the requirements are complex, then you obviously can't do it in this time frame that we're talking about. Usually for that customer, realistic is 6 to 8 months. I mean, if they don't have standard requirements. Hello?
Yeah, I got it, Praveen. Thanks very much for that information.
No problem. So this is throwing error.
Praveen Babu here.
Yes, Babu. Praveen
In
Babu.
your yeah, thanks to add my name you. Praveen, in your experience, what was the toughest rules we have written as far as concerns towards this propagation? Like scenario.
Propagation scenario itself is not complex to write a rule, so
So, okay.
no
Other
problem
than
with
that,
propagation.
overall, in you see the toughest scenario, one scenario at least.
For me,
Maybe now later you can tell, but still.
I can tell also now because it's doing something. So biggest challenge, I would say, it's never a problem doing something in the system. It's a problem facing the changes with success factors, because recently we had this error and time we had an error. So likewise, so these are the biggest problems I usually talk about. But if you ask me from rules perspective, at least in the projects now, people will write it for me. But the one that I face is, let's say, for example, we have to write alerts and notifications. Okay, so if my employees' work permits expire in 3 months, so it should automatically send an email to my administrators. Similarly,
Okay.
for example, there is something called as, let's say, contract end date. Okay, for employees, there could be scenarios where we extend the contract, or sometimes we terminate the contract. And let's say 45 days before contract end date, you want to write this particular rule, whatever it is, so that it triggers or sends an information or notification to you saying, okay, this employee's contract is going to end in 45 days. There's one, it's not complex, I would say. I'm just telling you scenarios because I don't know what really could be complex or not. But these are the ones. And you have to write a rule which will calculate age, and you have to write a rule which will calculate what is that? What is that? Your retirement date, and again trigger emails before retirement of employees. So these are the scenarios that you usually come across in PAOM cases, right? What else you have?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So,
No problem.
Praveen Bhawan here. So all these rules, we have to do it in the XML only. I mean, the conditions if employees, probation date, end date, and the other conditions, all these things.
You don't write rules in XML actually. You write it in MDF, in manage configure business rules, and assign it at succession data model field level. So these are trigger rules.
Here, just now we had configure business rules page. We had assigned it, right? So, but we had written the rules in the XML. So, can you, if you don't mind, can you show?
I did not write a rule in XML, right? So propagation, that's a different concept. You have an XML for propagations, but these are not propagations. Age calculation is not propagation. Okay. It's a rule, that's it. Okay, that we write it in the front, and I'll show you. So we'll talk about rules anyway, don't worry.
Oh.
Praveen, I have one more question.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Our requirement would be the location to job propagation. Now, whatever the rule we are going to add, are we going to add in a location or at a job?
So what are we doing?
Initially, we just done that in a location based. We just added this particular rule in the location. But if you look at the screen, just find that you've done in job info. So if you give us a name.
So as I said, I mean, you can put rules at an object level and at a field level. But if I'm changing job information, am I changing time zone? Or when I change location, I want to change the time zone? Which one makes more sense? When I change?
Location, then the time zone can be changed.
Exactly. So that's why I'm putting it at a location level. Okay. So there is some problem with the remote call. I don't know. It's a product. It's not saying any standard problem, but it's giving me an error. So propagation. I can show you others also. Don't worry. So for example, how we assign it, when I go to job info, when also I select a position, I want everything to be propagated from position. So those rules can be written as well. So what you have to do is you have to assign these rules at a field level. So I don't see this. You see, this is where I assign a trigger rule. I don't know why it's giving me problem. Similarly, for example, when I change position, if you want to write a rule which will propagate, so you see position to job, so there is another propagation rule which is propagating. When I select position, I want to propagate all the fields from position to employee rather than manually selecting them. So if you look at it, I wrote an exception if position ID dot this one is not equal to this, because I was testing something and this is one of my testers, so test cases. So you can ignore it. You can actually say always true as well. But here I just put this one because this is a dummy position. I said this is not equal to this one, then only propagate. So in that case, if you look at it, system propagates location from position ID dot location, business unit from position dot location, sorry, business unit, division from position ID dot division. Same wise, I mean, similarly, it propagates other things as well from position. So when you create a position with all this information and assign it at employee level, so it propagates all this data from position. That's what this rule says.
Yes.
Praveen, Manoj here. See, Kanchan wants to activate the chat. So he has some question. Yeah, he's in a customer place, it seems. So you want to send some question to you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Kanchan, sorry. Okay, so this is how we write rules, and this is how we assign them. So you need to assign them at a field level. If you look at this one, these are called trigger rules. You should always assign them to trigger rules. Okay, so these rules are assigned for each event type, but at a field level, you only have one event called on change. So this is on change. So this triggers data from position to job. Okay, is that clear, everyone? How we write
Thank you.
propagation rules through the object, sorry, through MDF itself. So this is how you're going to do it in the future. Remember, your HRIS propagations will no longer be valid with your HRIS propagation data model anymore, because it's no longer needed, as I say. It's all done through this one. So we also have this one. I can import it if you need to. Otherwise, right now, these are the ones that you see, especially job code, pay component, and location are the three objects which can be used for propagation currently at this point. Otherwise, there's nothing much that we use for propagation. Kanchan, what happened? I don't see your question. Still typing? Okay, if you have a question. Okay.
There was a question. We kept it right side. You can see in the chat window, there are 3 questions he kept.
3 questions?
4 questions now. It's showing no red color chat window is the right side. Just under
Yeah,
the
I know, but they are not questions actually. They're just saying I've missed questions. You want to ask me? Go ahead, please. If your questions, go ahead.
He's at a customer place, he said. He cannot speak. He just can chat with you.
Yes, I'm asking him to write. So that I can explain, right? Okay, so meanwhile, okay, propagation. Can we compare propagation with SAP features? Absolutely. Yes, you can. So it's more like defaulting data. Yes.
Praveen, sorry, I'm Bhavani Prasad here. So, the class started at 7:30, right?
Yes.
The first few, the introduction of propagation I missed. So, just for my understanding, propagation is just like the features what we have in SAP.
Yes, you can compare. I don't say exactly the same because, in SAP, we put some condition to say that this value is default. But here, propagation is like you take the value from your foundation data and default it in employee data. But more or less, yes, concept-wise, it's close, but not exactly the same.
Okay.
But for your understanding, yes, you can compare to features.
Okay. Thank you.
Praveen,
Yes.
one more question. Can we go with 1:1 defaulting values like a propagation? Like if the field A, 1 should be propagate and the field B, 2 should be propagate.
What do
It's
you
not a
mean by
field.
field?
And the field values, imagine I have a one common field. We have a two different values. And a field A, that should be defaulted like propagate with a 1. Value B should be propagate with the 2. Oh, how can we do that? 1:1. I hope my question is clear.
No, for me it's not.
According to the
So don't mix it with
propagations,
SAP.
we are...
That's the problem.
Sorry?
Don't mix it
Alright,
with your
okay.
SAP.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So the reason I understand now your question. So you're saying if I select location A, some X should propagate. If I select
Yes.
location B, some Y should propagate. That's already
Yes.
happening because I'm not selecting based on A or B. I'm selecting based on foundation object. It could be any number of locations. Each location, when I create a location, has a time zone within it. So whatever I created within location, that will propagate irrespective of your location. So whatever is there in the location, that is propagated.
Got the point. Yeah, got the point.
Right?
Got the point. Yeah.
So it doesn't mean you might have 100 locations, 1,000 locations, or 100,000 locations.
Yes, I got
So
the point.
Yep.
Thank you, Praveen. Thank you.
No problem. So that's propagations. Very important, guys. Keep this in mind. This is a definite interview question, guaranteed. So next thing is I'll talk about something important, very, very important, especially if you are working for customers. This is very, very important. In my workshops, this is one of the painful topic because this is where you deal with most of the business users, especially if your client is matured, you have a standard processes in place, or if they don't have a standard processes in place and you have a team who is responsible, then you face a lot of different things here. So this is very, very important from a job perspective when you go to the customer. So this is something that you guys should concentrate on. Okay, so all these three.
Hello?
Hello.
I think he lost.
I think you lost.
He lost the connection, I think. I also think so.
Hello, Babu?
Did anybody hear him? No,
No.
no.
There's a problem with Praveen connection.
Hey, who is this?
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Hello. Hello. Hi, Praveen. Praveen is not there. He just lost the connection. Actually.
Yes, I think so.
Just give him time. Let him come. Let him come. Maybe he might be trying, right? Gauri, where are you? You're in the institute?
Yes, Mr. Babu.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Good. Back to Hyderabad then.
Yes.
How are your kids?
Manoj?
Hello?
Hello? Manoj?
Yeah, Manoj, yeah?
Manoj, Srikanth here. Anybody are there from Bangalore? Because just want to know, like, if anybody are there so that I can go for combined time. Are you from Bangalore?
No, I'm from Hyderabad.
Okay, okay.
Hi Manoj.
Hi.
Hey, what
Hey.
happened with Praveen?
Yeah, so might be lost this connection, Bhushan.
Because all the time we are concentrating and our trainer is lost the connection.
Guys, whoever started facing interviews, if anyone come across any questionnaire prepared with the self-interest, any questions, interview questions, sort of stuff, anything related to yourself.
Yeah, because see, what the important topics that you said is the propagations, events, event-driven workflows. Yes, these are the 4 topics is very, very highly important because whenever we go for any interviews, obviously the workflows, configurations, events, very, very important. Even propagation rules also very, very important.
Okay.
Yeah, and also you're talking about alerts, right? So we are talking about alerts, for example, any contract end date or probation end date. Okay, 15 days before we need to send an alert, fine. But the particular should acknowledge that particular system. If unless it's not acknowledged, the alert should keep triggered to him or her till the issue will be get resolved. I mean, the action should be take place.
Okay.
For example, I'm the manager because under me is subordinates are there, so the probation period keep coming. So I'm on a leave. Yes, we can. I can assign to somebody else, but I forgot. So that particular time, it's keep triggered to me 3-4 times. If I'm not did any action, it should escalate to my manager also.
Yes, it should go to that.
Yeah. So something we need to do that kind of rules. That is very highly important. Most of the customers will ask the same.
Yeah. Thanks, Manoj. I think Praveen is back.
Okay.
Hello, Praveen.
Hey guys, sorry. As I said, right, my hotel Wi-Fi is a pain here. They also charge 10 euros for it, so. Guys, please don't put all this personalized stuff, okay, and especially something like mind links or crap, because this is something that I might show to customers. So please don't put all this crap. Mind links logos, please. I don't love it. You don't do it as well. It's not something that you should put. Something more useful should be okay, but don't put these things because these are surprises. When you open it in front of customers, you can't avoid it, and sometimes it goes in the wrong way. So don't do that. Put something meaningful. Anything should be fine. Okay, so I was explaining something. Meanwhile, I was lost for a few seconds, but looks like Kanchan is asking, what was that? Where is it? So Kanchan was asking if I can make classes 1 hour instead of 1.5 hours. So I have to make classes 1 hour from next week any which ways. But I thought since I'm a bit available, it's good to take 1.5 hour sessions. But your other request, Kanchan, 3 p.m. is not absolutely possible. for me because I'm at a customer site as well, and 3 p.m. would be my core business hours, and I can't do it. So I'm fine doing a bit early if you guys are okay. But remember, it's like already 3:30 for me. So I'm waking up at 3:30 a.m. for you guys. So just look at some possible or feasible time for all of you and come up with something and see if it works for me or not. My preferred timings are mostly mornings. After that, it's not absolutely possible for me because I work for both Europe and American customers. So the overlap of these timings is something really important for me. So I have a couple of projects, one in Europe and one in US. So I work in both their timings most of the time, at least 11 p.m. Indian time. So I don't think I can take a class after that because I know I meet you guys very early in the morning. So it's a long day for me every day. So second half of the day, I don't prefer.
So when you'll be back for classroom training, sir?
This week, I'll be there. All right, so I'm not sure if you guys would like to limit it to 1 hour. I'm fine now.
No, I think we are okay with 1.5 hours. What about taking a class at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning your time right now?
Right now it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, you can start at 5 if you don't mind, and if everybody is okay.
I'm not sure if
no,
other people, for US folks, it's too late. And for few people who has office at 9, it's again a problem, Ritu. We need to consider all of them. So we can't just change.
Probably the timing is very ideal now what we are following, but only thing just take the input from others like 1.5 hour. That's probably we can look at.
Yeah, maybe we can either do 1 hour or 1.5 hour because even for Kanchan, if he has to pull out 1 hour of his time, maybe it might be easier than 1.5 hours. So that's something that we need to look at. Otherwise, I think timings we can't change much because the window that I have is 7 to 9 Indian time, or at the worst case 6 to 9 Indian time. That's the worst case because doing it online at 6 doesn't make much difference for me. But doing classroom at 6 is very, very problematic for me because I have to wake up at 4:30, so it becomes a problem. So which I don't usually do. So see, end of the day depends. Okay, if you guys have some problems, I'm okay to adjust my schedule in the mornings a bit here and there. Okay, waking half an hour early might be okay, but just you guys have to decide because right now this is ideal time what I see because US folks are there. They can't attend whatever times that we want to, and Australia is a different time zone, and Europe is a different time zone, and India is a different time zone. So we need to look at all these people. Okay.
I think the current time what we are following is okay, but I mean just only the thing is as Kanchan said 1 hour or 1.5 hour only the concern. Otherwise the current time what we are following is okay for us.
I know, yeah, because for me also this is the time that works actually.
Yes,
all right, okay, you guys maybe decide offline and let me know. Maybe you guys can send me an email. That should work.
Praveen will continue in this time only because other times are not suitable for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. So, okay, so this is an important discussion. So in the last 1 hour, we covered propagations, Suresh. So we have seen how to do propagations both from XML perspective and from a rules perspective, and how to assign rules is what we discussed. So we'll be talking about rules again when we go to rules, but from a propagation perspective, we have seen how it is handled in both the scenarios. So we are going to start with events, event reasons, and workflows. Remember, this is a very, very important workshop that you guys will have when you go to projects. This is the key. This is one of the most important because this is where we cover customers' processes. You know, all these swim lanes and everything that people talk about as a HR user or HR consultant who is looking at your process definitions and everything. These are the things that they come up with. Because you know all these consulting firms, right? Usually when they talk about change management or when they talk about process definitions, so they come up with swim lanes and everything, saying, okay, here is where it starts, here is where it goes, this is the person who approves, and this is where it ends. These are certain things that happens. As a technical consultant, for you, all those things should be converted into these things: event reasons and workflows. Events are not something that you're going to change, what I put here, so that you know what they are. Okay, so what are events in HR processes from a business point of view? What are events in your terminology?
The hirings.
Hire is an event, yes.
On the promotion.
Hire,
Termination,
promotion,
yes. What else?
transfer, promotion, transfers.
Salary increase.
Yeah, any one-time payment, any compensation.
Bonus.
Organization.
Bonus.
Organization changes.
Confirmations. Confirmation. I don't
Yeah, like
think.
probation period, probation process.
Mergers.
Sorry?
Mergers.
What is that? Sorry, Nag.
Mergers.
And all absences, time off, leave of absence, correction time off.
Leave of absence is considered, but not time off. Lakshman Papa, please mute yourself. Sorry, but that was cute. Okay, so so all these are different types of events that you actually do. Okay, so events are nothing but kind of actions if you are an SAP consultant. Okay, whereas if you're non-SAP, if non-technical, remember these are the kind of processes that you have as a HR person. You deal with these processes on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so these are called events in SUCCESSFACTORS. Remember this wording or this particular point that I'm going to put here. You cannot create any new events in SUCCESSFACTORS. So this is something that you need to remember always. You cannot create any new events in SUCCESSFACTORS. There are around 25 standard events, and as I said, you cannot create them. You can modify, change text, change statuses, but you cannot create a new event in SUCCESSFACTORS. Have to utilize one of those standard events and you can create. So what we create are event reasons. So what are these event reasons? How are they different from events? Is very something that you need to understand. New hire. Replacement.
Rehire also we can do.
Rehire is an event actually. It's not a event reason. Okay.
Yeah.
New open.
Acquired from, let's say, acquisition.
New business.
New business, whatever. So these are all event reasons. Just like your action reasons in SAP, you've got event reasons in SUCCESSFACTORS. So these are certain things that we create these are certain things that we create in our SUCCESSFACTORS. So where do you create event reasons? Remember our initial discussion on day one about foundation objects. I said there are manage, org, pay and job structures. In addition to that, there are 3 other objects which are not considered structures, but they're also considered foundation objects. What are those three? What are those three objects which are part of your foundation objects?
Company, job, location.
I said there are three objects which are not part of your organization, pay or job structures, but they are considered foundation objects. This is the terminology that I used. And I gave you those three objects. Company, location, and job are not part of your org structure or job structure or pay structure. The name itself talks about your structures.
Praveen, there are the three: event regions, workflow, and the dynamic roles.
You got your page open?
Yes.
Event reasons, workflows, and dynamic roles. These three are very, very important. Remember, these three are foundation objects, and most of the people forget that these are foundation objects. Okay, so these are foundation objects. You have to remember, you can create them. If you want to add some new fields, you can actually add new fields just like how you add in a foundation object in the corporate data model. Okay, that's very important. So anyway, we'll see each one of them and we'll try to understand the functionality. As I said, we create event reasons in SUCCESSFACTORS. And like in SAP, I don't say I'm doing a transfer. I don't do that. I don't do it. What I do here is I just change the location or fields, whatever is important, and system triggers the event. This is how it works. Let's say I'll go to an employee. So for example, if you look at this, I go to an employee. I'll take someone else. Okay, I go to this employee and I go and change the job information for this employee. So the difference between SAP to SUCCESSFACTORS is this. In SAP, if at all I have to do a transfer of an employee from location A to B, I have to go to PA40, do a transfer action, select whatever event reason or the action reason, and then execute it. Here, if you look at it, what I'm doing is I just change the location. Oops, there was no workflow. Why was no workflow? It's interesting. Maybe she does not have any manager or someone to trigger a workflow. Could be one of the reasons as I see it. No, there is a manager. Anyway, I'll see that. So for our understanding, okay, even though I think there would be a workflow that would be triggered in these scenarios usually, but did I say it is a transfer? No. What I did is I simply went there and I changed the location. Similarly, if you want to change, let's say salary, you simply go and change salary instead of saying promotion with pay increase or something like that. Okay, so let me show this one. This is loading. I'm taking you to employee data history, how it is stored. So system stores event and event reasons for the action that we just performed.
We are not given any effective date, but system will take as a current date of.
No. So when I actually change it, it usually takes current date. I did not change the date option. You can change the date, so that's fine. When you go to take action and job information, there is an option, change effective as of. Usually it's at the top. You might have just missed it. Okay. You see here, this one is transfer location. This one, as of today, this is 6/22 today. So 6/22/2015, I just did a transfer and transfer location. Did I say the event is transfer and the event reason is transfer location? Did I?
No.
But system identified by itself. And usually what happens, it's supposed to work like this. So what I do is a user goes and changes the fields. So based on the fields, your event reasons will be triggered, which in turn are linked to events anyway. And based on the event reason, your workflow will be triggered. So your event reasons are mapped to workflows. So eventually workflow will be triggered. This is how it works. So we write a rule for event reasons which says, okay, if you are changing any of these fields or all of these fields, this event reason should be triggered. And based on the event reason that is triggered, a workflow will be triggered. This is what we're going to learn in the next couple of hours. I mean, not today, at least in the next couple of hours of our training. So these are very, very important, remember. So we'll also talk about, in addition to this in workflows, we talk about something called as dynamic roles and dynamic groups. So these are a couple of things which we'll discuss in the next 2 hours of our training. Okay, so maybe tomorrow and some time from the next class on Wednesday as well, because this is the crux, or this is very, very important from your success factors perspective. Especially when you go to the customer, this is where they are very keen on to look at the system.
Praveen Babu here. The workflows will be standard, like they will be already defined at the back end of the system.
There will be zero workflows in the system. You need to create your own workflows. And these are not technical. When you hear about workflows, people think something similar to SAP workflow stuff. No, it's not. It's different. And obviously it's your responsibility to create the workflows as per customer requirements.
Praveen?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Suresh. In the just given example, you change the location and you are expecting to trigger a transfer event workflow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in that same way, I mean, I don't know, I changed a field, or I did a change and automatically it triggered a workflow and it showed me something, some workflow screen. And how do I know that which event it triggered? Is there a way to?
That's what I just showed you, right? So here you see this one, event transfer, and event reason is transfer location.
Okay. This is when you go to job history and find out, right?
Right, yes.
I see. Okay, got it.
This will happen because the rule what you're going to, the workflow what you're going to define based on that?
Yes, we are to define these rules. We'll define it. I'm just showing you. System will be intelligent enough to identify what event reason that you are triggering. System takes the changes in the fields and triggers the event reason based on the logic that we put in the backend. So you no longer say there's a transfer or there's a promotion or this is a pay hike or a decrease or a demotion or anything. You just do the change that you want in the employee, and system identifies what type of event it is and also triggers a workflow if at all created according to what configuration that we're going to do.
Manoj here. See, the moment you're changing the employee screen itself, for an example, when I do some changes in the employee level, it should not trigger automatically. It should gets an approval. Once the final approval is done, then only this particular event region should.
Yeah, as of now, as I said, there is something missing with this event reason, looks like no workflow triggered. So that could be the reason, but ideally it triggers a workflow. Okay, so when we change this event reason, it triggers a workflow, don't worry. So that will happen. You can also modify as an admin in the backend without triggering any workflows. That's here. When you come to job information history portlet, and you can make either correction or delete permanently, it doesn't trigger a workflow. But at an employee level, when you go to employee, take action and do some changes, then yes, it triggers workflows. Whether you're an admin or a manager or HRBP or anyone.
Okay. Okay. And let's say, Praveen, let's say I have two actions. One is a transfer and one is organizational assignment. Let's say in the standard, imagine, and I don't know what are all those 25 standard what we have. I'm just keeping my scenario in front of you so that you can.
So events can be any, as I said, standard, but event reasons are the key.
Yeah.
Nothing will work on the event level. It all works on the event reason level. Event reasons are mapped to events. When you create event reasons in manage org and job structures, you link them to events.
Okay, let's take this scenario. Let's say there is a transfer action event and at the same time organizational change event. Now, the organizational change event, the scenario would be if as a person, associate is moving one plant to another plant. The plant might be in the same location or plant might be in a different location, but plant to plant is changing. Means I want to trigger an event which organizational change event. So not as a transfer event. So do we need to define it at workflow level or where do we define exactly?
So first thing, you need to create your event reason as organizational change. And if there is a org restructuring or something, any of those event reasons or events, standard events, you can choose them. It's available in the pick list if you would like to check the events available. So it's available in standard pick list. So just go and export your pick list. You can see all the 25 events. And so where do you store your plant? Is it stored at a location level or is it stored as a division or a department or anything? So there should be an identifier for a plant, right?
Yeah.
So where do you put it?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I'm asking you, where do you put it? So you put it in location again, or is it different? So location and plant are two different things, if I understand.
No, that's what I said. The plant, there are one location, there are two plants. And another location, even I have a different plant. So the transfer can happen, the organizational change can happen at a plant.
Location is one way of transferring a person. So look, now plant, are you going to store it in a department or a division or even a custom object which says plant? I need that information, right? So how do I recognize a plant in my system is a question to you.
Right.
I should say it's a custom field.
So if it's a custom field, I would just say, okay, if this particular field is changed, then trigger this event reason.
Okay.
If you're changing plant field, so it triggers org restructuring or whatever you said. Whereas if you're changing location, it would transfer location.
What the workflow we are going to define?
That's again mapped to event reason. If you have two different workflows for plant and transfer location, then you map those two different workflows to each one of the event reasons that we have created. Anyway, we'll see that, okay? We'll see that process. So your workflows are linked to event reasons.
Okay.
So if you have two different event reasons based on two different fields, then two different event reasons can have two different workflows, or two of them can have the same workflow as well.
Yep. Okay.
So it works with and or conditions. Let's say if you have to fulfill these two conditions to say transfer, then you put an and condition. Or if you put any of those conditions, that means an or condition, it triggers. And if you make any of changes to any of these fields, it will trigger the same event reason. Similarly, for example, you have 5 event reasons, but 5 of them follow same workflow. In that case, you put an or condition when it comes to workflows and put all the 5 event reasons. We'll talk about technicality tomorrow. Okay. First, we'll understand the concept, how it works, and then we'll do technically.
Praveen, here, Praveen, it's me Lakshman. What about if an employee transfer from one department to other department? Whereas in that case, there is no chance to change the location. Simply we change department only, but we will call it as a transfer.
Yes. As I said, if you call department to department as transfer, if you call location to location change as transfer, if you call, let's say, division to division change as transfer, fine. As I said, we'll use a or condition. That means either or, right? So you are changing either department or, let's say, location or a division. In any of these three cases, it's still called transfer event. We'll see that tomorrow. These are possibilities that we'll be looking at tomorrow.
Okay, Praveen, sure. For any kind of for workflow changes, anything we will use either employees, the manager self-service, right?
Right, yes.
For example, any location changes
these
or
are self-service scenarios, right? So these are manager self-service scenarios where manager can initiate a transfer or HR BP can initiate a transfer or even your HR admin can initiate a transfer.
So normally when I open user, for example, I have the manager credentials. I will go and put my user and password. The moment I enter inside, I should see the manager self-service. The moment I click on the manager self-service, I should see the transfer.
No, you don't see it that way. This is not your Oracle system or SAP system. So as a manager, what I'll do is I see my team. I can just go on to my team and I have privileges to make a transfer change. I don't mean transfer. I mean, you can simply go and change the location.
My team is also fine. Yeah, my team also we can do that. Yes, correct.
So for example, I'll just go. Let me show you. Just go to someone who is a manager. So I'm taking you to manager screen. As a user, I'm proxying it as a manager. Guys, meanwhile this loads. So Kanchan wants to see if there is any way we can take at least one class of 2 hours on the weekend to fast track the course.
I am ready.
I am ready.
No, weekend will not be possible. Sorry, today.
Okay.
If it is early hours in the similar time, like before 9 o'clock.
Yeah, maybe yes, because this Friday we will not have a class. So if you guys are okay, maybe we can take a class on Saturday.
Same time.
Weekend, same time. Because Friday I'll be traveling, so I don't think I can take a class. So if you see this one,
classroom?
that will see sir classroom or online, but first thing is class. Then where? Right. So if you look at it, this is a manager screen. So he will, she will see the team here. So I can go to an employee and I can take an action. And I can change, let's say, job information. This is manager self-service. This is manager self-service. See, so Carla Grant is making some change on her reportee, saying, okay, she's transferring from who changed this one? Okay, so she's transferring this person from one location to another location. One cost center to another cost center or something like this. Okay, there is some change that we need to put, which I'll do. So anyway, so forget about this one. This is this still needs validation, as I said. And thanks. This one remembers me that I have to show you guys something. Which remember, remind me as a first thing tomorrow morning that I would show you the fix for this issue that that goes associations the opposite way. So something that I said I'll show, but I forgot and no one reminded me. Maybe because Suresh joined late today. Otherwise, that's an important fix. You see, cost center is filtering the division. It should be opposite. How we do it, I'll show you. All right, guys. So we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue our discussion on workflows. Very important. Remember tomorrow's and Wednesday session. Please make sure no one misses session or don't miss the session because it's very, very important from a business perspective. When you go to your workshops, this is a key workshop. If this is done properly, customer would be really happy because whatever we did till now, they're all fields. Okay, for them they don't care actually. For them it does not matter. This is the place where your expertise, your skill set, and also understanding customer requirements makes a lot of sense for the customer. Okay, so this makes them happy.
Okay, Praveen, maybe I think it's got delayed. Maybe, or else I'll ask this question tomorrow. We'll discuss tomorrow. Not an issue.
Sure, no problem. Maybe if it's a simple question, I can answer. But if it's a complex,
no, it's not like that. I had an interview question. The person he was asking me that let's say you're using a sales demo and you're doing some configuration or some scenario you're trying to execute, and suddenly you found a bug. How do you define it is the bug because of your configuration mistakes or system bug? How do you track it out? He asked me that question.
Okay. First thing what I'll do is I'll check whether my data is accurate, because usually what happens is when you create the data that like let's say you created a company code, okay, and it has some association with cost center or something. Okay, you created a cost center which is an association with one-to-one association with legal entity or something, and then you kind of assign it to employees, and then you made some changes at association level. Then when you go to the employee, you see that error because it says an application error. It's usually, there are two ways. One could be my data because of these kind of things. Once you assign the data and then you change the properties of the objects in the backend, usually it leads to application error. Second, if you delete something which is already assigned to employees and then you see at employee data level, it's another problem. Third, it's if you don't see any data problems, then it's an application error. It's a product error.
Okay. So in that case, suppose just a general question. Let's say Salesforce demo, you are doing it and someone changed something and you want to get the standard whatever Salesforce sales demo will give. So how to reset that, the old one?
How to reset?
Reset or whatever. Let's say a lot of several changes made by students. Then you want to get the standard one. So reinstall this?
There is no, there's a cloud application, no installations anymore.
Like means...
So that's a bigger problem. Usually I have, because I have to clean up a lot of stuff. But the problem, I mean, the way we do it is when we had these data models, it's more or less easy to upload the data models again so that at least the structures will remain same, because I don't care much about the data. But with MDF, it becomes a bit tricky. Okay, so I might have to delete or change, but it takes some time. Or there is an option where I can actually do an instance synchronization as well, but that's never for sales demos. Usually we do it for customers.
Okay. Thank you so much, Praveen.
Praveen, could you show us that 25 standard events, I mean the path?
I'll be showing it tomorrow anyway. Okay. Because it's in your pick list. If you would like to, even now, if you want to go and check, it's in the pick list.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, data models, yes, Suresh, as I said, you load data models when it was only data models at the beginning, but now it's mix of MDF and these things. So things are becoming a bit complex.
Okay.
Praveen, when you are going to take the backup classes?
Backup classes?
Yeah, I missed few classes for the beginning actually.
Even, yeah, first 2 classes we missed out.
First couple of classes, it should start on July 1st.
And one more actually, I missed the position class. That's also, I mailed it to you because my laptop was not working.
Position, I don't see an immediate session being planned, but I'll keep you posted when it happens.
Thank you.
Thank you. So July 1st, you guys can join those who missed first couple of classes. So that starts July 1st, yes. At 7 a.m. Indian time. Okay, so we'll stop here, guys. Thank you so much. You guys have a good day. Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Good day.
Thanks, Praveen.